Welcome to the Skyjacker Toyo Tires Uroc Pro Nationals in beautiful St. George, Utah. We have the best rock crawlers, the most outrageous rigs, 10 challenging courses, and huge cash prizes all on the line this weekend. This is the first of 6 events this season, all of course leading up to the World Championship Supercrawl later in the year. My name is Danny Canada, and joining me today will be Crystal Stone and John Curry, 2001 National Rock Crawling Champion. You know, rock crawling's been around for years, but as a competitive sport, it's fairly new. So for anybody out there watching, let me go through some of the basics of an event like this. First of all, it takes place over 2 days. Each competitor must go through 5 courses on day 1, 5 courses on day 2 for a total of 10. Low score wins. When it comes to the vehicles, you've got 2 classes. The modified class, real simple. You can have stock frames and tire size no bigger than 37 inches. Now the super modified, little different story. If you've got the budget, the know-how, you can build just about anything. Now, as far as the rules go, pretty simple. All you really need to know is points are bad. How do you get points? Let's go through it real quick. If you hit one of these cones while you're going through an obstacle, it's going to cost you 10 points. If you back your vehicle up, that'll cost you a point. If you stop for more than 4 seconds, that's also going to cost you a point. If you look at some of the super modified vehicles, they've got rear steering. If you use that during an obstacle, it'll cost you 5 points, but you can use it for the rest of the course. Now, one thing you need to be aware of is what if you roll it over? This is an extreme off-roading event. It's absolutely fine to roll your vehicle. You just got to make sure you either land on all 4s or you and your spotter get it back on its wheels, because if anybody touches it, you're going to take the maximum points for that obstacle, and that's 40. Basically, that's your rules. When we come back, we'll begin today's coverage of the Uroc Pro Nationals. And later on in the show, we're also going to do the countdown to the Skyjacker Shock of the Day. I guarantee you do not want to miss that segment. Now, final round action of the Uroc Pro Nationals when we return.
The Skyjacker Toyo Tires Uroc Pro Nationals, brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform. Skyjacker, the bear of suspensions. And FullySports.com, the best fantasy football on the web.
Okay, it's time to get things underway here. We've got Nick Sessions and Mac Hampson on course B5. John, they call this one the Money Pit. Why?
I don't think it was given that name. I think it was earned it, because a lot of guys are spending a lot of money trying to get up this thing, not only on rollovers, but on drivetrain parts. This is a tough obstacle. It's very, very steep. It's technical. There's a lot of cones you have to watch out for. You've got your spotter up there giving it all he can give it, and it's a tough obstacle.
Okay, well, you got to pick the right line on this one. You're going to end up on your lid. Typically, what do these guys break going up a course like this, John?
Yeah, the typical thing to break on something like this would be like a drive shaft or an axle, maybe a front axle.
Well, that's why they call it the Money Pit. It adds up, I'll tell you what, and that's a beautiful new rig. They don't want to wreck it. I don't want to see him wreck this rig. That's all there is to it. It looks like he's going to do all right here, as long as he doesn't kick out a cone. Well, there you go. He kicks out a cone. That costs him some points. So while he's backing up, let's do this. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. This is what happened to Peter Mazzoni yesterday when he tried this exact same course. Peter did not find the right line, okay? Not finding the line is going to end up like this. He's going to roll over. He's going to slide down the rocks. Bad deal, because he took 40 points on it, okay? And I can assure you this, Nick does not want to take 40 points, because he was in 3rd place after day 1. He's going to do everything he can to keep his score low, John.
Well, let's see if Nick can find the right line. He's up there giving it all he can get. Whoops, there's another backup. There's another point. His spotter's getting wore out up there, pulling on that rope.
He's going to give it another shot. Spotter's pulling like crazy. See if he can't get over the top. Okay, well, there they made it, and that's good. The guys are happy that they made it to the top of the course. They're tired, I understand that, but here's the thing. They did take 35 points, and remember, points are bad. That's going to hurt them in the overall standing. All right, John, let's take a look at Dean Bullock and Crazy Carl Munford. These guys, they won the Pro National Series last year. They're one of the best teams when it comes to the modified class. The modified rigs, John, stock frame, tire size, no bigger than 37 inches.
Absolutely. This is a new rig for Dean this year. He competed in a modified Samurai last year. This is a little bit longer rig. We've got coilover shocks, got Dana 60 rear ends in it. He's running a Suzuki Samurai drivetrain.
Okay, this is course B2. Dean's pretty much made the most of it, and I do need to point this out. It's an interesting item here. There were only 3 teams yesterday that were even able to score on this course, meaning they got something less than 40 points. That's the maximum score, and we know points are bad. In other words, super modified vehicles yesterday were the only ones that made it up this thing, and here he is in a modified rig, and he's doing pretty good, and he doesn't have rear steering, John.
And most of the guys never even got up to this section of the course. Most of them were stuck at the bottom section. Now you're watching here, watching Dean doing some more technical stuff here. He's using some front drag steering. He's actually locking up the rear wheels and pulling it with the front end. Here he's getting through the gates clean. He's gassing it up towards the finish line.
Okay, they take 36 points, which sounds like a lot, but as we mentioned earlier, that's like a -4 given the other scores the other teams took on B2. All right, now over to course B1 with the Sisson brothers. This is another top team in the modified class. They're trying to finish B1, which has a very steep drop-off here, John. These spotters are earning their pay today.
Absolutely. These guys are brothers from Farmington, New Mexico, and these guys have really good communication skills. That's why they make such a great team. They know exactly what the other guy is thinking.
I'll tell you what, he saved them from going over on that one. They were in second place at the end of day one, so they don't want to make any big mistakes, obviously. They finish course B1 on all fours and take 24 points. Okay, here's Ken Bloom and Chuck Carlson. They are in the modified class. These guys are some of the top drivers, but I'll tell you what, John, this guy's almost completely sideways. Here's where you want the driver to be about $110 and the size of a jockey. And I got to think you want the spotter to be, quite frankly, one of the strongest guys on earth.
Absolutely. This is a tough course. Only 2 rigs finished it on the first day, and he's doing a good job with it. Now notice here, he's running a portal axle. That means he's got more ground clearance underneath his differential, but at the same time, it raises the center of gravity, so a spotter is going to have to work extra hard in this situation.
Okay, so the only thing keeping him from taking a header down the rocks is that rope that goes up to the spotter. He props himself up there, sits tight, tries to hold him, and these vehicles come in a minimum weight of 2,400 pounds.
That's right, about 2,400 pounds, and that spotter's giving it all it can do to keep it from going over the edge.
Well, that's where you got to work as a team, and they did work as a team, and they made it to the top. When it comes to extreme sports, you've got to have sponsorship. I'm here with Greg at the Toyo Tire exhibit. Greg, why are you guys involved in Uroc, and why do you think the sport is growing so quickly?
Oh, we're involved with Uroc, first of all, to get out here and promote the performance and the technology that Toyo Tires brings to this market, like truck tires and our brand as a whole. And part of the reason I think that it's growing so quickly is because the spectator and fan can get so close to the sport and really get on the obstacle and watch what's going on, the action. It's very exciting out here.
All right, let's go back to the money pit where we've got Ken Shoup and Rusty Bray. They're getting ready to tackle this one. People have been having troubles. This is a new rig for these guys, John.
Yeah, Ken is one of the most popular drivers on the circuit. This is a brand new rig. He's got his favorite colors, set up with BFG rubber, Dana 60 axles under it, and it's working good.
Well, I'll tell you what, he sure made that one look easy. They had all kinds of drivers who were backing up and having all kinds of problems on that thing. He made it look pretty simple. He's got to be happy with the score. Just 3 points. Way to go, Shoup. Nicely done.
Good score.
Well, I'm here in the tool shed with Clay Egan. He's certainly no stranger to this part of the course. Clay, I'm sorry to say that, but when you've got an extreme sport like this, you're going to have things break. How important is it for you, Clay, to be able to get in here and fix your rig and get back out on the rocks?
You know, it's very important, and you and I spend way too much time in here talking.
It seems. I see you out on the course for a bit, then you're back in here. What did you break this time?
Well, you know what? We didn't break anything this time. We're just getting out of here, out of the shade.
You're out of the shade? No, I heard some welding going on. What's going on?
We're doing good now. We thought we broke some major stuff, but we're ready to go on our next course.
How long do you have to get in here, fix your rig, and get back out on the rocks?
You know, we've got about as much time as we do to get to the next course. You know, so it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour.
Just depends on how you're waiting online and
other competitors. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you. Hope to see you out on the rocks.
Thanks.
Okay, over to course A5. This is Larry Trim and Jerry Robinson out of Oregon. They're attacking the rock.
Jerry did a good job stacking those rocks up there, giving Larry a good ramp to get up on the rock. Got up there, gassed up, went right up to the top. Now all he has to do is fall left the other side.
Okay, well, the custom Jeep Liberty did pretty well. They came down all right. They didn't roll over. All they got to do is get over to the finish gate there. They take 11 points. That's a good score for these guys.
Good job.
Here's your standings through 6 of 10 courses. Modified class, first place, we've got Adrian Dognan and Dave Cleary with 94 points. Just 2 points behind, though, is Team Sisson with only 96 points. Super modified class, we've got Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson. They're still in first place with only 31 points so far. And in second place, Nick Sessions and Mac Hampson with 53 points.
For wild and extreme rock crawling when we return. Don't go away. Woo!
I'll tell you what, as extreme as this looks on television, you have got to come to one of these events live and take a look at the obstacles these drivers are going over. Crystal Soane's going to make an attempt at going up this one. Crystal, what do you think your chances are?
I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, you can get up.
One more time. I think I need a spotter. I don't know how these rigs get up these rocks. But let's get back to the action at the Uroc Pro Nationals.
Here's Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson, our current leader in the super modified class, John. They're on course B5, the Money Pit.
Yeah, this is a good team. These guys got a big bag of tricks, and let's see what they can pull out here and try to get up this obstacle. This rig has got rear steer, but if he uses it, it's a 5-point penalty, so he only uses it if he absolutely has to. Tracy's been around a long time. He knows how to use all that stuff.
And we saw Ken Shoup not too long ago go right up this thing without any problem whatsoever. It doesn't look like he's going to do the same here, though.
No, he's having a little bit of a problem here. He's finding a little traction, though. Got up there a little bit more, but...
All right, I don't think he's going to make it on that one. Okay, well, he backs up. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at what happened yesterday. Okay, this is Neil Lillard and Don Robbins, their Team 100. This is the same course. In fact, this is a very similar vehicle to what Tracy's driving.
Yeah, very similar. Actually, Don Robbins and Neil got a little more horsepower than Tracy's got, but the rigs are very similar in design, built by the same manufacturer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tracy's got to be concerned about that. He does not want that to happen to him. He does not want to roll that vehicle over on its lid. He's holding on to the top spot. If he blows it here, he's out of the winner's circle, and he's out of the money.
Yeah, the pressure is on here. You need to get up here, finish this thing off, get out here with some good points, and maintain that lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's making this look pretty simple. They're similar vehicles. He went right up that thing without a problem.
Yeah, hit the sweet spot, found the throttle pedal on the right spot, got to the top.
Okay, well, 9 points. That's all they're going to take on that. They're obviously excited about it. That should keep them in the top spot. So nicely done, guys. Let's take a look at what happened here, John. Matter of lining things up correctly, I guess.
It's just a matter of inches sometimes. Now watch the left rear tire, gets caught on that knob, takes a good bounce, brings him right up to the top.
All right, that should hold him in first place. Good job, guys.
Good job.
We're here with one of the top drivers in the sport, Brandon the Knife. We can't go into a lot of detail as to why that is his nickname, but you had a little trouble on that last obstacle. Brandon, what happened?
We were on B5, we chose to reverse into it to save a couple points on cones where everybody else was smacking into them. Came around, dropped down this big cliff, and my spotter was yanking on the back to hold me from rolling off. I kind of got the front tire lodged in this big crevice, and axle shaft let go.
That was it. Are you done for the day?
We have one more obstacle to do. We're going to pull in, get our points, and we're out of here.
All right, well, good luck for the rest of the Pro Nationals here with Uroc.
Appreciate it.
Here's Jennifer Little and her husband Todd MacGyver Little on course B5, the Money Pit, and she takes the phone right away.
Yeah, Jennifer is one of 3 professional women rock crawlers at this event today. And yeah, she started out over cones. Sometimes it's better to get to the top and just take the cones on the way.
Okay, well, Jennifer replaced her old Willys Jeep with a Suzuki Samurai this year. It looks like it's working pretty good for her. Maybe she just needs a little bit more time behind the wheel. Oh, she's excited about it. Look at that, John.
Yeah, she's a little excited there. I'd be too.
She takes 28 points on B5. Way to go, Jennifer. Nicely done. I'm here with Tracy Jordan and his spotter extraordinaire, Jerry Watson. You know what? You guys are no stranger to the winner's circle, but this has been a rough day, rough course. Guys are rolling all over. What's kept you in this thing, Tracy?
Well, keeping it simple. We got a Twisted Customs buggy, and BFG tires are sticking really well.
Let me ask you this, Jerry. You've been spotting this. How important is the spotter in keeping this guy on all fours?
He's a good driver. He doesn't need a lot of help.
Okay.
Keep him off the cones more than anything and stack a lot of rocks.
Is it more positioning or is it more brute force?
Positioning.
Okay, well, guys, good luck on this one. We're going to go back to more Uroc Pro Nationals right here in beautiful St. George, Utah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Walker Evans and his spotter, Ted LeBaron, ready to give the Money Pit a go. Walker Evans, the legend, Baja 1000 fame. Doing pretty good, but they've been having a little bit of trouble lately, John.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 from the first day, but it looks like they're going to have a little more trouble today. Here he's upside down, but this is a position that Walker's been in before. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, the crowds always love to see him rollovers and that. Walker, he crawls out there. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to get that rig back over. He's going to take the maximum of 40 points. All right, I'm here with Dean Bullock and his spotter, Carl. Guys, you've been doing pretty good on this course. It's been pretty rough. This is a new rig for this year. How's it going for you guys this weekend?
Yeah, it's a brand new rig. We've put about 1,500 man-hours in it in the last 3 months. It's working great. Me and Carl work real well together.
You seem to be on top of it for today so far?
Yeah, we're doing real well. Okay. You know, we're doing our job.
Okay. Carl, spotter, big part of this thing. What's the toughest part of these obstacles today for you to contend with?
Most of it's just trying to keep the tires on the ground, keep all 4 tires down, keep it from going over.
So far, so good, though, right?
So far, so good.
All right, over to Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson. They're still holding on to that first place spot in the super modified class.
These steep downhills can be very tricky. You got to be very careful. It's nothing more than a controlled fall.
Yeah,
whoops, there he goes. He got a cone.
Well, that's going to cost him some points, but at least they didn't tip the thing over. That's the key. The cone cost him 10 points. We'll see if that comes back to bite him in the end. Tracy and his partner there, they take a score of 26 points on obstacle B1. All right, here we go. Dean Bullock and Crazy Carl coming up on B5, the money pit for their last obstacle of the day. John Dean has been climbing into this thing after finishing 8th place yesterday.
Well, he just showed us there what that little 4-cylinder has under the hood. And he went right up the top of the money pit. That was an obstacle that even the super modifieds had problems with.
Well, he took 22 points on that one. B5, Dean and Carl, nicely done, guys. Over to Ron Christensen and Russell Gamble on course A5, the Rock. Now, the spotter, he's taking the time to make a ramp out of rocks right there, but you can hear the judge in the background counting off, John.
Yeah, you got 4 seconds to stop. If he stops any longer than 4 seconds, it's 1 point. So if he rolls forward, they restart their count.
Okay. Well, it looks like he's set. The spotter goes around the other side. He takes a shot at it. So far, so good, but... oh, well.
All goes haywire. Right rear tire slid off the rock. The momentum took him over backwards.
Looks like he went in with just a little bit too much power. Shot off to the side there. A bunch of debris fell out of the back of the vehicle here. Let's take a look at what happened. It looks like he started okay with the ramp, and then it went bad from there.
Now notice the safety strap. That's put on there to keep the vehicle from rolling very far down the hill.
Well, I'll tell you what, that vehicle hit very hard. He might be in the running a little bit later for the Skyjacker shock of the day. You'll want to watch that. He got his Gatorade. Driver gets out of the vehicle. Looks like everybody's going to be okay. I'll tell you what, this is an extreme sport, but it's not limited to men drivers. I'm here with one of the best drivers in the world, Becca Webster, and her spotter, Kevin. How are you guys doing so far today?
We're having a wonderful day. We've completed all the courses that we could and kept it on its wheels until now. We were on this last course. We were fully sideways. I mean, just running on the edge of the tires. And unfortunately, a strap broke, and Kevin did a backflip off the side of the hill.
Now, it's a little unusual to do a backflip onto the rocks. Did you come out of it okay, Kevin?
Yeah, no broken bones. We're feeling pretty good. We're ready to run the next one here shortly. I mean, that's part of the game. We know the dangers.
Okay, well, good luck for the rest of the course, guys, here at the Uroc Pro Nationals. Matt Peterson making his way up course A5. This team has done phenomenal here today. At the end of day 1, they were in 13th place, and now they're battling Shannon Campbell for 2nd in the super modified class. And it all comes down to this one obstacle right here. Shannon Campbell just attempted this same course and really opened the door for Matt. Let's show you what happened.
Here's Shannon Campbell out of Gilbert, Arizona in his rig. This is a V8 powered rear engine rig, new style rig. He's backing up there to get a little more run at this rock. Notice he's got a pile of rocks there. Gets up there, hits the brakes, loses momentum, slides backward. So spotter lets go of the rope, throws the rope back over. But notice this time he doesn't restack all his rocks. He doesn't have as nice of a rock pile there to ramp up on. But Shannon's going to go for it. He's going to gas it up.
Okay, they're running. Oh, he hits a hard left on that side. Didn't even take his hands off the wheel as he hit. He's going to maneuver his way and pull out of this one.
Yeah, Shannon's an exciting competitor to watch. If he's making it or not making it, it's still exciting to watch.
Yeah, well, this is his 3rd attempt. It's not going to make it for him. He just spins it around. Looks like he might have damaged that front right side there, though.
Yeah, it looks like he lost an axle on the front end. Wheel won't turn. That usually means the universe joint in the axle is broken.
So what Matt needs right now is an almost impossible score of -1 to tie or -2 points to move ahead of Shannon into 2nd place. Let's see what he's got here, John.
Bounces right up there. Tires hook up. He's able to get it over the top. Good job. You know, Matt, this is a brand new rig for Matt this year. He's done a lot of innovative things with it. It's a rear engine car. It's using an air suspension on it. As you see the shocks there, see the airbag there.
Yep.
And it's working well.
I think he cleaned that pretty good. He took advantage of Shannon's misfortune, and it looks like he's going to move into 2nd place. Good job, guys. Nicely done. Here's Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson, who are finishing their last obstacle of the event, course B2. Tracy and Jerry have a pretty good lead going into this thing, so unless something goes really wrong, I think they should be okay. But he slammed the front right into that rock on that other side there.
Yeah, he's got a bad line here. He's going to try some rear steer to see if he can push it around, maybe get it lined up right. He's going to have to take a back up and get the front end a little over further to get that tire to come up on that knob.
Well, if he doesn't blow it here, he should take home the victory at the first Skyjacker Toyo Tires Pro National of the season. He's going to back up and take another shot at it, though.
It looks like get the front end over a little bit, get that right tire to come up on that knob, make it a climb.
Yeah, he's come over about a foot and a half now, so instead of hitting that front roll bar, his tires actually pull him up the other side there. So I don't think, unless he rolls it or has something drastic happen, he should be well on his way.
Yeah, watch how good the articulation on this rig is. Just soaks up that whole bump there, keeps it nice and stable, drives right through it.
Well, Tracy's one of the most skilled drivers out here. He looks like he's navigated that one pretty well, though. Looks like he's going to go through the end of the obstacle. If he just turns it over, he power steers it over to the right there with his spotter. Pull through the end of the gate. Looks like they're going to be good. When we come back, the final results of the Uroc Pro Nationals, and we'll count down the craziest rollovers of the weekend and give you our pick for the Skyjacker Shock of the Day. Stay tuned.
The Skyjacker Toyo Tires Uroc Pro Nationals, brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform, Skyjacker, the bear of suspensions, and BullySports.com, the best fantasy football on the web.
Now it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, the Skyjacker Shock of the Day.
And at number 10 is Kelly Clifford. Kelly is going to take a hard hit on her right side.
Number 9, Ron Christensen, giving it his all.
Number 8 on the list, Neil Lillard. Watch this one here. He takes a bounce, look at his head, snapping back and forth. That's what you call whiplash.
Bart Jacobs, number 7, another victim of the rock.
Here he is, the man, the legend, Walker Evans, comes in at number 6. I'll tell you what, this guy had a rough second day as he goes over on his right side.
Mark Berger, number 5, another victim of the rock.
Coming in number 4, Mike Schaefer and Lance Clifford, the winningest team in rock crawling history. He hits hard on the right side. His head about fell off.
Number 3, Brad Lavelle, giving his body man some work.
Coming in number 2, Peter Mazzoni. The money pit says, nice try, Peter, but you're going down on your right side and you're going down hard.
And our pick for the Skyjacker Shock of the Day is Skinny Adam Lunt, and it was no competition.
The final scores are in. Let's take a look at the results. In the modified class, Team Sisson, brothers Garrett and Matt Sisson take home first place, and so are the current leaders in the Pro National Series. Second place was Dean Bullock and crazy Carl Munford, and third was Adrian Dognan and his spotter Dave Cleary. In the super modified class, Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson held on to win convincingly with only 113 points. That's a very low score for the difficulty of these courses here this weekend. Matt Peterson did in fact move into second place, just barely edging out Shannon Campbell, who finished in third. That's going to wrap things up here in St. George, Utah for the first Skyjacker Toyo Tires Pro Nationals of the season. On behalf of John Curry and Crystal Stone, this is Danny Canada saying so long and thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Tracy Jordan and his spotter Jerry Watson currently lead the Pro National Series in the super modified class, and Team Sisson, made up of brothers Matt and Garrett, are sitting at the top of the modified class. We'll find out this weekend if those teams can continue where they left off a few weeks ago.
We're ready to rock.
Welcome to the Skyjacker Toyo Tires Pro Nationals in Vernal, Utah, also known as Dinosaur Country. We're here for the second of 6 events this season, all of course leading up to the World Championship Supercrawl later in the year. My name is Danny Canada, and joining me today will be Crystal Stone and John Curry, 2001 National Rock Crawling Champion. But before we go into any of today's action, let's take a look at yesterday's semifinal round, some of the highlights, and you don't want to miss some of the rollovers. The winner of the Pro National Series last year, Dean Bullock and crazy Carl Munford, are currently first in the modified class. Crystal talked to Dean and Carl this morning about their feelings going into today's final round. Let's see what they had to say.
We just got to play it smart and do our thing. You know, this isn't all just about rock crawling. There's strategies involved, and we got to make sure that we play the game.
Do you feel any additional pressure being the current leader?
No, we've been in this position before, and we'll play our game like we've always played it and keep our heads on straight and try to get a low score again today.
Bob Standage and Tom Ahern are just 5 points behind Dean and Carl going into the final round, and they will try to make up the difference today.
In the super modified class, Jason Pauley and Travis Wadeson finished in the top spot. They have a 7-point lead going into today's final round. Guys, how are you feeling going into today's event? You feeling pretty confident?
Oh yeah, we did pretty good yesterday, but every day's different. Day 2 could lead into some good things or some bad things. We just take it obstacle by obstacle.
Okay. Travis, what are you looking for today to make sure you guys maintain that lead?
Just trying to keep the vehicle on all 4 wheels. You know, there's some tough courses over here. We start out on the hardest course, so we get that out of the way, and I think we'll be doing pretty good.
Ken Shoop and Rusty Bray are in second place in the super modified class and will be doing everything they can to move ahead of Jason and Travis. Here's just a few of the extreme rollovers from yesterday. Mac McMillan and Terry Johnson giving it their best shot on this one, but I'll tell you what, they end up going down hard.
We're ready to rock.
Chris Hawley said he was ready to rock. I wonder if he was ready to roll.
Looks like he did both. And then there's Brandon the Knife Gillen and Ollie Bradstreet doing a spotter ride here. Didn't go so well. Might have been better to have Ollie spotting this thing instead of riding along because they went over. They take the maximum of 40 points. All right, when we come back, we're going to start today's coverage of the Uroc Pro Nationals. And later on in the show, we're going to do a countdown to the Skyjackers Shock of the Day. I guarantee you do not want to miss that segment.
The Skyjacker Toyo Tires Uroc Pro Nationals, brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform, Skyjacker, the bear of suspensions, and BullySports.com, the best fantasy football on the web.
You know, rock crawling as a competitive sport is fairly new to people, so let me go through some of the basics. An event like this takes place over 2 days. There's 5 courses on day 1 and 5 courses on day 2. Each competitor needs to go through all 10 of those courses over the weekend. Also, when it comes to vehicles, you've got 2 different classes. You've got the modified class. These are vehicles that have a stock frame, tire size, no taller than 37 inches. But when it comes to the super modified, I'll tell you what, if you've got the budget and you know how to build it, you can change the frame, you can change the suspension, you can have rear steering in the super modified, anything goes. Let's take a look at how you actually pick up points. First of all, if you hit one of these yellow cones on the course, that's going to cost you 10 points. If you back your vehicle up, that's going to cost you another point. If you stop your vehicle for more than 4 seconds on the course, there goes another point. A lot of the super modified rigs have rear steering. If you use that rear steering during the event of the course, okay, you're going to lose 5 points, but you can use it for the rest of the course. Now, here's an interesting thing. After the first day, we actually had some drivers that were in a negative point balance. How did they do that? Well, if you look behind me, the spotter is in the rig with the driver. That's a way you can get into a negative point balance, as well as taking the harder line on some of these courses. All right, I think that covers some of the basics. Now let's get to some of today's action here at the Uroc Pro Nationals. All right, guys are lining up, and it's time to get things started. Let's go over to course A1, where Shannon Campbell is ready to get after it.
Shannon Campbell and Mike Deal are 2 of the most exciting people to watch on the course. They really get after it every time. They give it 100%. Shannon's in a new rig out this time, his first time on the rocks with this rig. Gonna see what he's got.
He's not giving it much time to break in, and it sounds like something did break on that one, and looks like something broke in the front end as well. The motor sounded like something let go. You can see in the front end. What's broken there?
Yeah, we lost the lower control arm on the front suspension and pulled the front drive shaft apart. It's like it's back to the garage for that.
Well, that's not a good way to start the second day. Shannon was in 8th place at the end of day 1. John, let me ask you this. What happens when you break down like that? Do you have time to fix it? Or?
You get a total of 45-minute downtime, and that's after you're off the obstacle.
All right, Tracy Jordan and Jerry Watson, our winner from St. George, are here on course A4. These guys are in 11th place going into today's event, so they got quite a bit of ground to make up if they want to do a repeat here in Vernal. All right, we're moving over to Ken Shoop and Rusty Bray. These guys are trying to finish course B2. Now this team is in second place going into today's event. I wish you could see inside that rig there. John, the shorts he's wearing, unbelievable fashion statement. But as a driver, what do you think?
Ken is definitely a crowd favorite, and colorful is to say the least. But he's doing a good job easing down through this steep downhill, trying to miss those cones. And you notice the extra ribbon on those cones, that means they're worth twice as many points. And that's for extra points.
No, this is a super modified rig. You can pretty much do anything to it.
Yeah, this is a super modified rig. He's running Dana 60s in it. He's got BFG rubber on there, Dynatrac axles. And he did a good job, and he's happy to be at the bottom.
Well, he made that one look pretty simple. He's going to be in the running with that one. I think he had a negative 13 for the score. Jason Pauly and Travis Waitson currently lead the super modified class, John. This is course A4 that they're on. These guys yesterday were absolutely unstoppable. I think the worst score that they had yesterday was a 2. We've had way lower scores here in Vernal as opposed to back when we did St. George. In St. George, they were very extreme courses. We had a lot of rollovers. We had a lot of broken parts. There were guys in there having their vehicles fixed. This is a very deliberate team here, though.
Yeah, this is a very experienced team, and they're a young team. These guys are cool. They keep their head on straight. They take it easy. They know they got plenty of time to finish these obstacles. They just want to make sure they get through them without making any mistakes. So, and that's what they're doing there. They're just, they keep an eye on their stopwatch. You got Travis up there. He's watching both sides. These guys know what they're doing. They've been together for almost 4 years.
Well, they take their time. They don't go into an obstacle with the pedal to the metal and just hope for the best. They check things out. They take it slow. They work as a team, and they usually come out on top.
They definitely do.
Here they are again. Dean Bullock and Crazy Carl Munford are current leaders in the modified class. Dean and Carl are the defending Pro National champions from last year, and have things ever gone good for them this weekend, John?
This course B5, one of the more technical courses out here. It also very long, lots of chances to make mistakes and pick up a lot of points you don't want.
All right, well, here he goes. He's getting a countdown, so Dean gets on the gas, takes it up there, has no problem with that obstacle. Well done, guys.
That was a good climb right over the top.
Now over to course 4B, where we have Team Sisson, who won the modified class in St. George. So currently they lead the series in that class. They were tied for 6th place going into today, and yikes. Wow, they make a little bit of a tumble there. They were tied for 6th place going into today. Again, they had the safety strap on the front there, John.
Yeah, they got the safety strap. And what you're seeing here is got the engine. The top of the engine is filling full of oil, and that's what makes it smoke like that. You don't want to stay like that very long. End up damaging your engine and be out for the rest of the day. So try to get it back over on its wheels as fast as he can, or it's going to stop running and he's going to have to get out.
Well, he just was not going to give up no matter what happened. He did another 4-point roll and lands on his tires and wheels.
You don't have much time once that happens. You got to get back quick.
All right, let's do a quick update of the scoring and see where everybody is placed here in Vernal. In the modified class, Dean Bullock and Crazy Carl build on their lead and currently have minus 58 points. Second place is Bob Stanich and Tom Ahern with minus 44 points. And in the super modified class, Jason Pauly and Travis Waitson still on top in the super modified with minus 28 points. Peter Wells and Frank Wells moved up into second place with minus 25 points.
More wild and extreme rock crawling when we come back. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the Skyjacker Toyo Tires Pro Nationals in Vernal, Utah. Let's go over to course A1. This is Josham Schweischau and Bien Iria. I hope I said that right, out of South Dakota in the modified class. These guys were 4th going in today's event and still sit in 4th place. Need a good score here if they want to move up, though, and as the day progresses, every obstacle becomes more and more important.
Yeah, they got to gas it up, this thing. You see the tires aren't hooked up, not getting much traction there. They have to back down a little bit, get a little run at it, see if they can bump it up there, get a little momentum and carry it up that hill.
Well, I just heard Brian tell Josham to go into first gear and back it up. Hopefully they'll take a little different approach on this thing and see if they can't make it to the top. His spotter heads up to the side. We have teams from all over the place that are competing in this. It's starting to become an international event, John. Hopefully he can get up on this one.
And notice no spotter rope there. If he makes it without the rope, if he uses the rope, he gets 2 points. He used no rope there, so he got it out there with no rope.
Well, whatever the strategy, it looks like they did a good job and made it up that obstacle, hopefully with some low score.
I'm here with Bob Standage and Tom Ahern in the modified class. You guys are doing really good, but you are in second place under Dean Bullock. What are you going to do about that?
Well, Crystal, as you probably know, Dean Bullock's a national champion, so he's going to be real tough to catch at this point. And he's got a lot of strategy going for him, and he'll use every bit of it. So he's going to put his experience to good use right now and make us chase him. And he's done a good job of doing that so far, trust me.
And how about you as a spotter? What are you going to do to make this happen?
We're going to go for it. Try the extreme lines, make it happen.
All right, Jason Pauley and Travis Wadeson, the current leader in the Super Modifieds here on course A1, trying to get those tires to hook up, spinning like crazy. Very close, but I don't think they're going to make it. They just don't have the traction they need, John.
Yeah, they're giving everything they got, but we just seen their team partners go up that same obstacle in a modified rig. So I'm sure they're going to be able to get it up here. They're going to discuss some strategy here, maybe back it up a little bit.
Okay, while they're sitting there, they're losing points. We know that. You're sitting for longer than 4 seconds. You back up, they're losing points. The spotter's yelling out some instructions to the driver here. Let's see what happens. They don't want to come out of this with too many points.
And they're just going to adjust their line here, maybe stack a couple rocks to keep the momentum up.
All right, let's take a look at a couple of teams that finished upside down on course A1. Jason Bunch and Stephen Hastings. They didn't do very well on this one.
And that was a borrowed rig.
Oh, that's not good. And Adrian Dognan and Dave Cleary going over, who took third place in St. George, have a long weekend here in Vernal. There's another 40 points right there.
We're back to Jason again. He's got a different line. Notice how far he backed up. You can back up as far as you want when you take a backup, so you might as well back up and get another view at it. He was going to come up there, and I'm sure this time he's going to gas it.
Well, he's going to have to really kick into this thing, and if the tires hook up and he's got a different line, maybe he'll take it to the top. He's having a little bit of trouble. He's bouncing. When you're bouncing like that, John, you can't be getting good traction.
Yeah. This thing's got about a 400 horsepower LS1 V8 motor in it, and he could get with it if he needs to.
Well, he did what he had to do, and he got to the top of that one.
And you can see that's exactly what he did.
We're here with one of our modified teams, driver Craig Stump and his partner Ed Purcell. What do you look for when you come to an event?
Well, you know, we come and we look at the layout of the rock, first of all, to see if Uroc's done their job, and they have really done a great job this time. Man, we've come up some stuff that had just scared the you-know-what out of you.
Ed, what are you watching for as one of the best spotters in the business?
Well, I'm just looking at keeping Craig on all four wheels. We get that first one out of our way, and we get settled down, and we're good to go after that.
Well, there you have it. We'll see what happens here at the Uroc Pro National. All right, we're going to go over to course B5 and the current second place team in the modified class. This is Bob Standage and Tom Ahern.
This is a beautiful rig. Look at this thing. Custom wheels, running some BFG rubber on there. This was a stock class rig last year, and he moved it into the modified stock for this year.
Well, these guys talked to Crystal earlier, and they said they were going to go for it. I hope they don't do that to the point that they wreck this beautiful rig.
Well, notice they got spotter right on that. That's extra points. So they're going to pick up a couple extra points there and move with a -9 points and move closer to Dean and Carl.
Okay, so a spotter ride is worth -5 points. The judges counted off 4 seconds, so they picked up a point there. So down the hill he goes. Man, he really hauled out of that one, didn't he?
Did a good job.
Spotter ride paid off for these guys. They get a -9 on the course, and that should move them a little bit closer to Dean and Carl. Here we have Don Robbins and his brother Paul. They're here on course B1. John, this team was tied for 9th going into today's event. Now they've moved all the way up to 6th place. They're having a good day. This is a very technical team. John, what's he doing here with the rear steer?
He's using rear steer. Don Robbins is probably one of the best technical drivers out there. Very experienced. He's very cool, likes to take it nice and slow and just work his way through the course. He's not the type of guy that will usually just gas it up and go crazy. But he definitely can if he needs to.
Well, the vehicle's got horsepower if he needs it. If he needs to jump it up the rock here, he'll do it. Let's see if he does. He lays into it, makes it look easy. There you have it.
I'm here with Brandon the Knife Gillen, who just rolled over on their last obstacle. So what happened?
We kind of came up this big hill and went around the corner, and I didn't do a rear dig enough to get lined up on the obstacle, so when I punched it, the back tire went in a big hole, and that threw the front end off, and we flipped all the way upside down at the bottom.
Well, we're glad you're okay. Let's see you back out there and make it happen.
We're on it.
Well, from Brandon the Knife over to Dean and Carl on B4, this is their last obstacle, John. They have a pretty good lead going into this thing. They look to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they look like they know what they're doing here. He's got a long wheelbase in this rig. He's got it hooked up. It's light, Suzuki powered. And notice the spotter strap going over the front. Can't see the spotter. He's over there tugging on that thing, trying to get those front tires to hook up down on that rock. When you go up something steep, the front tires wants to lift, lose traction. Sometimes just the guy pulling on the rope will actually pull the front tires down and make it hook up again. There he is up.
Well, he sure made it look easy. He rolls over the top very slowly, very calculated. Hopefully that'll keep him in the lead. Let's show a couple of rollovers from this obstacle from the day. Mike and his son, Troy Bailey, one of the best teams in the modified class, not doing their best here, though, slamming hard on the right side and taking a slide down the rocks.
Charlie and Kyle taking out a cone and a maximum of 40 points for this obstacle.
And back to Dean and Carl as they finish up this course, and what I expect is going to be a victory here in Vernal. They take a minus 12. They finish up the day on top. That gives them a bit of a cushion. Way to go, guys. Nice driving. All right, I'm here with driver Dustin Webster in his super modified rig. He did some modifications of his own. I don't know if you can see this, but this tire is heading down to New Mexico. The other one is off in the direction of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, for those of you that know where that is in Canada. What happened on that last one, and what happened to your spotter?
Well, we took a couple of hard tumbles. It's not the plan, but you know what, it was fun. We were going over. We knew we had to redeem ourselves. We attacked it a second time, rolled it again. What can you say? But had fun all the way. Unfortunately, I pulled my spotter off the hill. Never want to see that, but you know what? That's the idea of Uroc. Get out here, try and get some. If you don't, oh well, keep smiling.
There you have it. This is an extreme sport. I saw Mountain Goats looking at where he just did this, and they backed off. Back to Uroc Pro Nationals. Here we go. Ken Shoup and Rusty Bray on obstacle B5. Their last obstacle of the day, John, and their last chance to put some pressure on Jason Pauley and Travis Waitson, and the last chance to really win this event, I think.
Yeah, they're going to take their time. They're going to be very cautious, make sure they don't make any big mistakes here at the end. You know, they're in good shape right now.
Now, he can't ride along, obviously, in a single-seat buggy. Okay, so he's going to spot from the outside, and it looks like they're just taking it really slow, being real cautious.
Yeah, the last thing, you've had a good day, you know it. You don't want to make a big mistake at the end because the pressure's kind of on. You can really tell the steepness there when he falls off that. You can see underneath the back of the rig. And watch when he comes up this thing. This is actually very steep.
Well, it doesn't look like they've hit any cones. He hasn't backed up yet. Now, I've noticed on these vehicles there's a number of different points on the vehicle that the spotter can connect the spotting rope. Does he wait until the driver gets in trouble?
And normally they're not going to connect the rope until they absolutely have to. He's going to give it a try without it. The rope's a couple extra points. You don't want to take them if you don't have to. A lot of times you'll connect the rope and then find out you don't need it, so let's wait until he spins the tire and see what happens.
All right. Well, he goes through this one quite well. He whips through the course. They get a -8. Indeed, that does put some pressure on Jason and Travis. But right now, let's go over to course A3, where they're finishing up their last obstacle of that competition. With Ken and Rusty getting a -8, that means that Jason and Travis need a -2 or better to hold on and take the victory here in Vernal. Now, normally that would be almost impossible, but we've seen such low scores here, they have a chance. Jason and Travis definitely have a shot at being in the negative numbers.
Yeah, see, he pulls the rope out here. It's going to get a little tippy here. He's going to try to hold him over, keep him from tipping over. He may actually be holding him up away from a cone to keep the vehicle from sliding sideways.
Okay, well, this works for these guys. A3 is a very technical course. This is a very technical team. Again, they don't like damaging their rig. You don't see them flying off the rocks and rolling down in a heap. They take things, they're very methodical in the way they approach going into a course. They check it out ahead of time, and he's off camber here at a drastic angle. Here's where the spotter plays a big part in this thing. Right. He could have gone over right there, and he was holding him with the rope.
Yeah, Travis is trying to hold him up, and you can see the rubber up there on the side. Just to keep stay on course as close as you possibly can.
So it almost looks like it's got hydraulic suspension, but you said earlier that's just the suspension actually gathering itself through the rocks? Or?
Well, some of these rigs actually have the winch in front hooked up to the front axle, so they could actually pull the front end up and down with the winch. I think that's what we've seen right there. He actually pulled the front end down and lowered the center of gravity to keep it so it wouldn't be so tippy going around the side of that hill.
All right, when we come back, the final results of the Uroc Pro Nationals, and we'll count down the craziest rollovers of the weekend and give you our pick for the Skyjacker Shock of the Day. Stay tuned.
The Skyjacker Toyo Tires Uroc Pro Nationals, brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform, Skyjacker, the bear of suspensions, and BullySports.com, the best fantasy football on the web.
Now it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, the Skyjacker Shock of the Day.
Coming in at number 10, Matt Sisson in his Jeep going over hard on the left side.
Number 9, Charlie Melchner.
Moving it on. Number 8, the legend, Walker Evans. Turfs it hard.
Number 7, Walker Evans again.
2 spots, all right. Number 6, maybe we should change the name of the Skyjacker Shock of the Day to the Walker Evans Top 10.
Number 5, Dustin Webster taking a dive.
Finally, somebody other than Walker Evans. Nicely done. Number 4, Matt Sisson backing his Jeep up, hitting hard and taking a left turn onto his lid, onto the side, right over onto the wheels. And oh look, it's the Sisson brother again. I take back what I said about Walker. And for the second time in this event, they're able to get back on all 4 wheels. He takes it over. It takes a minute. There he goes. A lot of smoke involved. These guys are like a cat, always landing on their feet.
Number 2, Aaron Clode. That is awesome.
Check this out, though. The Skyjacker Shock of the Day has got to go to Dustin, the former cliff diver. He takes his Red Bull vehicle and he rolls it 2 complete times and he lands on his wheels, and I promise you he'll be talking for 5 weeks about how he did that on purpose. Let's go down to Crystal. She's with Dean Bullock and Carl Munford, the winners of the modified class.
So I talked to you earlier this morning. Looks like it worked for you.
Worked out real well. You know, we did what we came to do. Carl done a great job for me spotting, and we accomplished our goal.
What would you say was the key to your success for this win?
The rig worked real well, and we done what we planned on doing today, keep a low score and make it through the sections as good as we could without getting a lot of points.
What are you going to do with the prize money?
Gonna have to probably buy another Samurai or 2, I guess.
Well, good job, guys, and congratulations. Now let's go over to Danny with the winning team of the Super Modified class.
We've got Jason Pauling, the spotter. Travis, guys, first of all, how do you feel and what do you think kept you in this thing throughout the day?
We just played it safe. We usually do. The courses were good. We like technical courses, and we just held on until the end.
Hey, what, Travis, you were right there. You were tugging on this thing left and right. You stayed in it. What do you think gave you the advantage over maybe some of the other teams today?
Well, Jason and I have been working together for about 4 years now, so good teamwork. You know, we kind of work well together. You know, we know what each other's doing, so that helps.
Well, here's a look at your top 3 teams in the modified class and your top 3 teams in the super modified. Well, that's going to wrap things up here in Vernal, Utah for the second Skyjacker Toyo Tires Pro Nationals of the season. On behalf of John Curry and Crystal Stone, this is Danny Canada saying so long and thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.